Dr. Sujit, mic off ആക്കാമോ?
നൂറായി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് കോമ്രേഡ് ഓക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ ചോദിക്കൂ, എന്നിട്ട് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാം. റഫീഖ് മാഷെ, നമുക്ക് ഇപ്പൊ ഓക്കെ ആണ്. ടീച്ചർ ഓക്കെ അല്ലേ? ഗീത ടീച്ചർ ഓക്കെ?
കേൾക്കാലോ അല്ലേ?
ഓക്കെ, കോമ്രേഡ് ഓക്കെ ആണ്, നമുക്ക് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാം.
ചോദിക്കട്ടെ, ചോദിച്ചോടനെ നമുക്ക്. മനോജ് സാറ്, റഫീഖ് മാഷെ, ഗീത ടീച്ചർ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. മാഡം റെഡിയാണ്. നമുക്ക് ജി മീറ്റില് 100 പേരുണ്ട്. ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർക്ക് യൂട്യൂബ് സ്ട്രീമിംഗിൽ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യാവുന്നതാണ്. പ്രിയപ്പെട്ടവരെ, ഈ വർഷത്തെ വനിതാ സബ് കമ്മിറ്റിയുടെ പരിപാടികൾക്ക് ഇവിടെ തുടക്കം കുറിക്കുകയാണ്. പരിപാടിക്ക് ഔപചാരികമായ സ്വാഗതം പറയാനായി നമ്മുടെ സംസ്ഥാന ട്രഷറർ ഡോക്ടർ ഗീത നമ്പ്യാരെ ക്ഷണിക്കുന്നു.
Very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to inaugurate the activities of Akgct Women's Subcommittee for the year 2024-25. Indeed, we had planned to conduct a statewide program and the inauguration during the first week of August, but the unexpected landslide and the subsequent disasters in Wayanad forced us to postpone the program. So we have decided to conduct this program in online mode. Ever since its establishment, Akgct Women's Subcommittee has been actively striving to empower the presence of women within the organization and to address the specific issues related to the female members of our organization. Today, my duty is to welcome the gathering. The meeting is presided by Dr. Sunita, our Women's Subcommittee convener, and we have Dr. U. Vasugi, the National Vice President of All India Democratic Women's Association. And I am extremely happy to invite Dr. U. Vasugi, the Vice President of AIWA, to inaugurate our function. Indeed, she is a very renowned activist in this field. I also heartily welcome our General Secretary, Dr. Mohammad Rafiq, and President Dr. N. Manoj, and all other leaders of Akgct and members of Akgct to this function. And I request Dr. Sunita to chair this function. Thank you. Sunita?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Geeta teacher, for extending the welcome note. Today we are having Comrade Vasuki with us. She is, as Geeta teacher told, National Vice President of Aidwa. She is really an inspiring personality. She told me the importance of the topic, the role of women teachers in shaping the future of India. Actually, India is really a matter of subject to discuss in the present scenario. and especially the role of education in the context of NEP 2020 and more. Here we are having Comrade U. Vasuki to speak more about, as it is a online platform. I'm not extending my chairing speech. Here we are having some surprise to Madam Vasuki. We are having Aidwa members joining from Rajasthan, Dr. Seema Jain, to hear Vasuki ma'am. And sometimes our Srimati teacher will also join to hear Vasuki ma'am. So, not extending my talk, we all know the importance of the topic. We teachers who are shaping our younger generation, we are dedicated towards that. Now we can hear Ma'am Vasuki online. Herewith, I am inviting Comrade Vasuki on the platform to deliver the speech and inaugurate the program.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Sunita. Can you hear me or should I put on my headphones?
No, ma'am, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay. Thank you so much. My warm greetings and a very good morning to all the comrades belonging to AKGCT on behalf of All India Democratic Women's Association. Comrade Geeta kept referring to me as doctor. I think it has become a habitual thing for her because among the teachers there will be so many doctors, but I didn't get the opportunity to think of getting any doctorate. So I'm not a doctor, I'm just a comrade, I'm just an activist. So I want to make it very clear. As government college teachers and especially as the Vanita subcommittee, I would like to start my speech with a question. That is, how do you define yourselves socially? The word socially is very important because the society often identify us or very easily identify as mothers, daughters, wives, mothers-in-law, sisters, like that. There is nothing wrong in calling us with all those names because we have a role to play in all these aspects. But if we get confined to these roles, then our space gets restricted. This description means that we are identified only as women. But the fact is, you are women, you are teachers, you are citizens of this country. As each role comes on, we have different issues and challenges to face. For example, as women, we face all kinds of problems, right from different types of violence, inside and outside home, dowry, gender discrimination, sexual harassment at workplace, everywhere. So all these are problems faced by us as women. If we belong to SC/ST community, then additionally we face caste-based violence and discrimination. If we belong to a particular religious minority group, then at the hands of the present ruling dispensation, we face insecurity, attacks, and hate politics. Then as teachers, we get affected due to the changes in education policy, changes in our service conditions, workplace harassment, etc. And as citizens, all national issues make an impact on us. It could be price rise, it could be unemployment, it could be a problem regarding housing, it could be regressive policies pursued by the central government, which is targeting the society as a whole. So as a part of the society, part of the citizens, we also face all national level issues as citizens. So my point is, only when we define ourselves properly, we can define our issues, we can define our demands, then we can go towards the solution. If there is a flaw in defining ourselves, then everything becomes a problem. That is why I'm very particular. I started this speech with a question: how do you identify yourself socially? So unless we identify ourselves like this in a broader way, then we can go forward, identifying our demands, identifying our tasks, identifying our role to play in shaping the future of India. My second point is, as working women, you are part of women employees as a whole. At the same time, nobody can treat you as the usual section of working women or women employees, because as teachers, you are custodians of knowledge and you have a special role to play because you are working in the field of education. It's a noble profession, but at the same time, it's a very challenging task. Why I say this as challenging? Because at college level, you're working at a college level. If it's elementary school, then the students come with a mind, with a clean slate, like a clean slate. They come with the open mind. So it's easy to teach them because whatever we say, it's new to them. They take it in. So it will be easier for us. But at the college level, all these students who come in, they are coming in with a pre-set of ideas or pre-mindset. These ideas could have been imbibed into them by media, maybe by society, maybe by peers, maybe by family, caste, religion. So when they come with the predetermined ideas or pre-mindset, it's very challenging to delete that regressive mindset, the discriminatory mindset, and putting in new ideas of equality. So that is why I said at the college level, as teachers, our orientation, our task to reorient them is more challenging and difficult. Now, when we talk about shaping the future of India, you can do it in two ways. One is, as citizens, like everybody else, you have a role to play and you will be playing that role. The second aspect is, as teachers, you have the students on your hand, the entire student community. So by reorienting them towards a progressive egalitarian society, you can shape the future of India. So this is the second role, but which is a very, very important role for you to play. Now we come to the next aspect. When we talk about shaping the future, that means we should understand what is the present situation. Unless we understand the present situation, the shortcomings of the present situation, only then we will be able to remove such shortcomings and make it a new India as we like. So what kind of India we want to bring in, that we have to decide. For us to decide and work towards that, we need to fully understand and comprehend what is the present situation in India. So what kind of new India we want to shape? Our constitution shows the way. Our forefathers wanted India to be democratic, secular, federal, scientific. And they thought all the citizens must have basic rights, equality, a decent living, violence-free society, education for all, employment for all, freedom of speech, right to dissent, free press, media, etc. So these are the idea of India which our forefathers planned. So that is there. We should, when we talk about a new India, that new India must have all this. What is the present situation? On all the above aspects, we are far behind many other countries. There are statistics and information available on the net regarding that. So I'm not going into the statistics aspect. For example, when we say education for all, or scientific temper, or federalism, democracy, secularism, everything. You take, for example, NEP 2020, Dr. Sunita mentioned that. This national education policy, I need not teach you because you know all that. Without proper consultation, this NEP 2020 was brought in when the entire world was reeling under the pressure of Corona. There was no proper discussion with the stakeholders. So they say national education policy, but many people in the society refer to the policy as new education policy, NEP. They say it new education policy. Actually, there is nothing new. It is not going to take us forward. It is meant to take us backwards. In the name of Indianness, we should be very, very alert. Whenever we see a word which is uh, in a document which is released by the present ruling dispensation, the words like Indianness, tradition, knowledge India, we should be very, very aware that it's going to take us backward. We are not against any good aspects of tradition, not like that. We are not against Indianness, but what they mean by Indianness and tradition is completely different from what we mean by tradition and Indianness, knowledge India. So as per their connotation, as per their ideology, the terms they use in the national education policy is sure to steer us backwards. Briefly, if you want a comment on the national education policy, then we can say it in one line. It focuses on 3 C's, ABC. One is centralization, the other is commercialization, the third is communalization. All the three are against the spirit of constitution. So New India in our dictionary means an education policy which talks about the basic tenets of the constitution. Then unprecedented employment crisis or underemployment. This is another huge issue. So when we talk about New India, our New India should focus more on employment opportunities, more on workers than the corporates. They should be giving unemployment relief. The government should not be giving tax relief to the corporates. So they discriminate workers and corporates. They discriminate poor against the rich. So in our New India, this kind of discrimination should not be there. We always try to understand the situation from the point of view of the affected, from the point of view of the victims. So this should be our New India. Then when we talk about freedom of expression or the right to dissent, etc., you should have seen when this government was in its second term, union government was in its second term, they brought in a series of amendments in information technology related acts. These amendments put more and more restrictions on free speech. They are planning to bring in restrictions even on YouTube channels, even on social media, even on the messages we regularly share through WhatsApp. So this is a very serious impediment to the free speech. So we should be very cautious about the goings on in the parliament. We should not feel that some fight is going on between the ruling party and the opposition. It's not like that. Whatever is decided in parliament, that decides our fate also, that decides our future also. So even such legislations or amendments to the existing laws, how it is going to impact on us, that we should be very careful. We should be alert to these developments. And they are bringing in black laws like UAPA. So those who dare to question are put in jail without bail. So freedom to express without fear must be the norm in the New India, which we are trying to bring in. And in the last 10 years, more and more steps against federalism, against state rights are being taken, especially starving the states of funds and refuse to properly give a share, proper fair share in the revenue tax collection to the states. This is growing more and more. The starvation of funds to the states is a full-fledged attack, assault done by the union government on the states, especially if the states have governments which categorically oppose the policies of the central government, then they are being victimized. And this is one of the ways to victimize the states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Recently, I was very happy to see the news that Kerala LDF government has taken a very good initiative, and in Thiruvananthapuram, they held a meeting of finance ministers from 5 states, including Tamil Nadu. They came and participated. The decision of the meeting is to fight with the union government, demanding a fair share, due share of the finance to the states. This is a very good initiative. So even for the Wayanadu disaster, Geeta also mentioned that natural disaster. First, in the parliament itself, there were lies about that. They said we gave a red alert, the state government did not monitor that. Actually, it's a lie. It's not like that. Only after the first landslide, the red alert came. We all know that. Now what they are doing, they are slandering the LDF government, saying there is corruption in the relief measures, which again is an absolute lie. Till today, not a single paisa has been given by the central government to the state, which is reeling under the impact and consequences of the severe landslides. They are not fulfilling their responsibility. Union government is not fulfilling their constitutional obligation. They are not fulfilling their responsibility. They don't take the center-state relationship seriously. They are not serious about federal rights. So we need to protest against this kind of attitude from the central government in defense of federalism, in defense of our own state interest. So in our new India, which we are going to shape, center-state relationship must be very, very healthy. That kind of new India we should plan to develop. Now they are talking about so many irrelevant things, because union government is trying to divert the attention of the people away from the basic issues. Because if people are allowed to think about their own issues, then naturally, they come onto the streets, they will unite, they will fight, they will question the central government, they will oppose the policies of the central government. They will say, we want a change. So the central government is fearful about that. They are apprehensive about that. So what they are doing is, they are bringing in everything, so many things, which is totally irrelevant, which will divert the attention of the people and the society away from the basic issues, away from questioning the central government. One such thing is one nation, one election. You should note carefully that they don't use the word country. They often use the word nation. Nation technically is different from country. A country may have so many nations. Nations means nationalities. Nationality comes from the word, nation comes from the word nationality. So when we always say that India has its own plurality, so many nationalities living together, that's the greatness of India, all that we say. But this government is against the concept of plural India. So they always want to impose a homogeneous thing. They always say one country, one nation, one language, one nation, one culture, one nation, one leader. So in that list, they are bringing in one nation, one election. Now, this one election, holding simultaneous election to the parliament and to the assemblies of all the states in one go. After that, within 100 days, the entire India, all the states must hold the elections to the local bodies, both urban local bodies and rural local bodies. Is it practical, first of all? What is the situation of our election commission? Even in the last parliament election, we could see that on a single day, parliament election itself could not be held. Even in one single state, there were 7 phases. In West Bengal, parliamentary elections were held in 7 phases. In so many other states, 2 phase, 3 phase, 4 phase, 5 phase. So even one parliamentary election, our election commission and the arrangements and the structure here in India, it doesn't allow us to hold the parliament election in one phase. So if you are not able to do that, how will you hold the parliament election and the assembly election to all the states? How will you hold, even in many states, local body elections are held separately, urban local body election, rural local body elections are held separately, urban local body elections are held separately. How can you hold both the elections throughout India, in all the state, in all the local bodies? Is it possible? Second thing is, this local body thing, it belongs to the state rights. Only the State Election Commission will decide. So how can you impose that within 100 days of holding parliamentary and assembly elections, local body elections have to be held? How can you say that? Is that not infringement into federalism? Is that not infringement into state rights? This is all a basic democratic rights given to the states and the people. So this is against state rights. And one more important thing is, through this, they say cabinet has given the approval. In the approved thing, there is one recommendation which says that right now elections are being held in different dates and different years. So they are saying in a particular state, an elected government has completed 4 years. Every government has 5 years. So this government has completed 4 years. At the end of the 4th year, some no confidence motion comes up. So this existing government is dissolved. Then election comes. A new government gets elected. Normally, such a government will complete 5 more years because that's a new government. So their term will be 5 years as per the constitution. But this recommendation says at the end of the 4th year, if the state faces an election, that new government will hold power only for 1 year. That is the completion of previous 5 years. So they have only 1 year. Then what next? Again, election will come. For bringing this, they are citing as one of the reasons frequently held elections. It's given us a huge headache, etc. But what are you saying? After the completion of 4th year, a new government comes, one election. Then after 1 year that goes, again one more election will come. Means frequency of election is there here also. What is the difference? Then why do you give us such a bogus argument? And the most important thing here is this Ramnath Kovind committee. That committee was set up and that committee gave the recommendations. Only those recommendations have been approved by the central cabinet now. I want to remind you the framework of Ramnath Kovind committee. What was the framework? What was the task given to them? That is very, very important. Normally, when we say simultaneous election, it's a new thing. So if a committee is set up, the task must be before the committee, that must be whether this is feasible. Simultaneous elections, whether this is feasible. The committee can go into that. It can invite opinion from political parties, from various stakeholders. Finally, they can give a recommendation saying either it is feasible or not feasible. Suppose they say it is feasible, then the next step would be how to implement it. What is the legal arrangements we should do? What is the administrative arrangements we should do? That is the second step. That is the next step. But the framework given to this committee, Ramnath Kovind committee itself, is how to implement simultaneous elections. It is not whether to hold simultaneous elections, whether it is practical to hold simultaneous elections. It's not like that. How to implement? You recommend the legal changes, framework changes, and administrative framework changes. That is the task given to them. So it is not whether or not, whether it is okay or not. Actually, they've taken a the committee has been given a task which is predestined, pre-decided, predetermined. So the government, without consulting anybody, already took a decision about simultaneous elections, and this committee has been asked to recommend how to do it. So this is the background story of that. Now, the committee has recommended amendment to some of the constitutional provisions. You all know, to bring in constitutional provisions in the parliament in both houses, they should get 2/3 majority. Now in both the houses, NDA ruling government has a simple majority. They don't have a 2/3 majority. So they know very well it's very difficult to get 2/3 majority. Knowing that, why should they bring in? Why are they talking about it? My point is, I have an apprehension. That is, those who are present in the house, only from that 2/3 majority, not from the total number of elected people. On that particular day, how many are present? Among the present 2/3 majority. Now, the government will do what? They will try to discourage the participation of MPs who may vote against, or they may be encouraged to abstain. To make them abstain or to make them absent, what will they do? They will purchase the opposition MPs. That means a huge political corruption is waiting to take place. But our Prime Minister always says, I'm fighting against corruption. So many enemies have come against me because of this. But despite this enmity, I will not give it up. I will fight throughout my life against corruption. I will make India a corruption-free country. All those dialogue he's saying. But here, by bringing in this to get 2/3 majority, I'm 100% sure that this huge political corruption is waiting to happen. So whatever they say in fine words, in a very, very decorative language, we should not get cheated into that. They set an agenda. They always make us debate within that agenda, whether it is right, whether it is wrong, but we should not go beyond the agenda. That is their intention. So we should not look at all these steps taken by the government as an individual step and start debating whether this is correct or wrong. Not like that. They have a basic agenda, Hindutva agenda, pro-corporate agenda, and each and every step they take, it comes from that particular agenda. So every time we have to go back to the agenda. Only from there we have to start. The agenda itself is wrong. The agenda itself is against the idea of India. So this particular step also is against our interest. Like that, every time we have to recall their basic agenda and how each and every step they are taking, each and every policy they are bringing in, it has its connection and linkages to their basic agenda. So every time we have to talk about it. So in our new India, this idea of India, that should be very, very clear, not like the one which is being followed by the present government. Then nobody is against religious belief. But to make that as the centrality of politics, making it as an election plank, making it as the center of their narrative, it is very, very dangerous. It's a great relief that in the Lok Sabha elections, people did not fully go behind such efforts. But what is the news we are hearing now? During rainy season, they talked so much about Ram Temple. But during rainy season, Ram Temple in Ayodhya is leaking. This is the importance they have given to the construction to the great god Rama. Everywhere they were talking about it. In the election, they did not speak about any basic issue, only about Ram and Ayodhya. They were going on and on. But the Ram temple is leaking after the election in one heavy rains. Then our Prime Minister, while doing this Pran Pratishta, he literally behaved like a head priest, described that as a new India. So that means in new India, everything will be leaking in one go. That is the symptom we are seeing now. The in charge of the temple, the priest in charge, he is lamenting. Even the sewage facility is not proper in the Ram temple. Latest news is that a college student working as a cleaner in the Ram temple. She has been gang raped in the premises of the temple. Even women don't have protection in that place. So we have to understand that just because they keep chanting Ram's name does not mean that they are God-fearing or they are staunch believers. They utilize religious sentiments for their narrow political purposes. Even V.D. Savarkar, who coined the term Hindutva, he was an atheist. He did not believe in God. He very clearly said that Hindutva is a political project. I'm not saying it. Whatever organization belong to, we are not saying it. Savarkar himself has stated very clearly in writing and in his speech that this is nothing to do with Hindu religion. It is a political project. So our new India should uphold constitution which guarantees equality irrespective of caste, religion, gender, etc. Which God taught us hate politics, equating Muslims who are equal citizens. They are equating Muslims with Pakistan, questioning their patriotism, always keep them in fear and insecurity. Cow vigilantism has come to the fore. So many innocent Muslims, including youth, they are being killed. Mob lynching is a word. It's already there. That word lynching is already there in English. But in the last 10 years only, it is repeatedly being used because such evil acts are taking place only in this period. So this cow vigilantism or love jihad, now recently they are talking about land jihad. Land should not be given to religious minorities, Muslims. All that thing they are bringing in. So our new India, there should not be any place for all this discrimination and hate politics. Then I'll come to the role of women. We all feel, we all want that role of women must be recognized in all the fields. During freedom struggle or Chipko movement, that is environmental protection, whether it's a struggle for anti-liquor in Nellore, Andhra Pradesh, or anti-CAA struggle held throughout the country, women show the way. Women came out in large number, even during these struggles by the teachers, workers, or agricultural laborers, farmers, peasants. Women come out in a huge number. They fight shoulder to shoulder with men in all these struggles. Especially in freedom struggle, women not only involved in satyagraha like thing, that is peaceful struggle, they were involved in various other struggles like Chittagong armory raid. One woman was running an underground radio station during British colonial period, and Madam Gama was the person who first designed our national flag. After that, it underwent various changes, but the first design of our national flag was done by a woman. Even shooting at the British officials, that was done by Preeti Lata and so many other women. During the freedom struggle, for every 6 persons arrested, one was a woman. So the women had a glorious role in the struggles in the past as well as in the present. Even now we are fighting for new laws or amendments in the existing laws to protect the equality and the interest of the women. So their role must be given due recognitions in a proper way. After all, they are women. Pona podu, poor women. Okay, let us take them. Like that condescending attitude. We never want that. We want a very, very fair share. How we demand a fair share from the central government's revenue, like that we should demand a fair share to recognize women's role and participation. To enable women to achieve more, what should be done? Their household workload must be reduced, except child delivery and breastfeeding. It can be done only by women. All the other domestic work, they need to be shared. A noted novelist, Kamala Basan, she wrote very beautifully. She said, for child delivery, you need uterus. childbearing and delivery, you need uterus. Uterus is only with women. So only women can take up that role to bear the child and to deliver the child. In that, we cannot claim equality. We cannot ask the men, for 5 months, you bear the child in your womb. For another 5 months, I will bear the child. We cannot talk like that because uterus is only with us. But for doing domestic work, for cooking, for cleaning, for helping children, you do not need uterus. She has written like that. You do not need uterus. You need only hands. So irrespective of the gender, whoever has hands, they can very well do all this work. So that in every progressive movement, including your teacher's friend, we should repeatedly say, we should not feel that, oh, it is something related with the domestic sphere. It is related to their personal matter. This is related to their basic matter. So it is for them to decide. Union cannot intervene. Association cannot intervene. You should not think like that. மது சீக்கிரமாயே. ஒரு கால் வந்தது உனக்கு, டிஸ்கனெக்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு. கனெக்ட் ஆயிடுச்சா? Is it okay? Can I continue?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Very, very important issue. It got disconnected. See, even the system is very discriminatory towards women.
That's okay.
So the union has every responsibility to talk about the role which should be played by all the family members regarding domestic work, so that it will free the women to a certain extent. In that space, they can do many other work. So that is an important thing in our new India. That should be a day-to-day practical aspect. In our new India, nobody has to teach us to do this. It should be a very natural thing on our part to share the domestic work. And then gender discrimination is another important impediment in our aspiration to do more, in our ambition to achieve more. This becomes an impediment. To prevent the sexual harassment at workplace, there is an act called POSH. So it must be put in place. Even in the educational sector and in colleges, there must be a gender policy, POSH policy. There should be a internal complaints committee must be there. And it is the responsibility of the teachers union to see to it that such committees are appointed in all the workplace. So in this regard, the report of HEMA committee in Kerala, even though we knew many of the things, it's happening in all the field. In cine industry, it's happening more. We all know that. But the report of HEMA committee, said all this, which were really shocking. There was a delay in releasing the report because of so many court cases, and Justice Hema herself is reported to have sent a letter in writing to the government not to divulge the information because it's a matter of privacy. Even the court cases were relating to the issue of privacy. The privacy should not be violated. So that is why it took about 4.5 years to get the report released. But I would like to certainly state that this is the first of its kind. In no other state, such a committee was set up, and that committee has come out with a lot of recommendations. They have very clearly said I see internal complaints committee may be feasible in other sectors, but not in the cinema industry. In the industry, even if you set up an internal complaints committee, the members will be easily swayed or intimidated or purchased by the power center in the film industry. So they are recommending a tribunal-like thing, which will deal with all kinds of discrimination, including sexual discrimination. Whether it has merit or not, the government has to decide. Now, special investigation team has been set up and they have started their investigation. I'm very sure that some of the criminal offenses which HEMA committee has mentioned, if the concerned women are coming forward to lodge a complaint, if that kind of atmosphere is being created by the Kerala police, then they come forward to file a complaint, then justice will be given. And this is setting up such a committee, HEMA committee, to go into the discrimination, not only sexual abuse, all kinds of discrimination, that is discrimination in wages, basic amenities, the women's role in production, direction, that must be encouraged, not only in acting. So all the other roles, also technical roles, they must be encouraged. And women in marginalized communities and in Kudumbashri groups, they must be given scholarship fee concession to take up such courses. They should study and train themselves, then they will get a good opportunity in the film industry, not only in acting, but also various technical fields. Those kind of recommendations also have come. So this is a very good step taken by the Kerala LDF government, and in all other states also now demands have started coming that we also need a committee like HEMA committee. So this workplace sexual harassment, it's a very, very important issue. So in our new India, no such discrimination or no such harassment will be allowed. That kind of new India we should bring in. But the party which is running the central government, union government, believes more in Manusmriti than in the constitution. When the ruling government believes in Manusmriti, it encourages the societal mindset also towards that. So you see more and more utterances on justifying women's subordination or subjugation are coming out boldly. Sometime back, people with the rightist ideology, they will think twice before speaking anything derogatory about women. Now, so many people are saying women are like this, women are like this, they must be as mothers, they should sit at home, they should not come. The United Andhra Pradesh speaker, he said, if you park the car inside the house, there won't be any accident. You should not let the car on the road. It should be parked in the house. Like that, if women are let on the road, there will be violence. So you park the women inside the house. Just like car, they must be parked inside the portico of the house. What kind of speech is that? Where did he get that courage, that boldness? So this right-wing ideology pursued by the ruling government encourages all such regressive ideas and utterances. What is the latest example? Recently, a judge from Karnataka High Court, first he said in a land-related dispute, he's mentioning about a particular place in Karnataka where Muslims are more in population in that area. He said that is a Pakistan. He's saying that is Pakistan. No rule of law will be there. Like that, openly in the open court, he's saying. Secondly, in another dispute, a male lawyer and a woman lawyer representing the opposition parties, they are standing, and the open court judge is saying whether that male party has filed his income tax returns. He is an income tax assessee, he is asking. So before that male lawyer replies, the woman lawyer, she says, yes, he has filed. That is what she said. Immediately the judge say, oh, you seem to know more about the opposition party. So tomorrow when I ask, you may say even the color of his undergarment. That is what he says. You may tell me the color of the undergarment of the opposition party in the open court. Now, fortunately, Supreme Court 5-judge bench, they've taken cognizance of it. They've called for a report from the registrar of the Karnataka high court. But what I'm saying is, a judge has this audacity to openly say something which is unconstitutional, unethical in the open court, from where he's deriving that negative energy, from where he is getting this kind of courage, means there is only one answer. Because the ruling dispensation follows this particular ideology, it gives encouragement to all the others to follow suit. If an individual justifies gender discrimination, we can answer easily because he's only an individual. But if a whole ideology justifies it, then difficulty level in countering is more. If that ideology belongs to the party running the central government, then the task of countering it will be all the more, it will be more challenging. Their version gains popular attention since the majority media favor them. So we need to wage an ideological battle in defense of women's rights, equality, in defense of our constitution, which guarantees certain core fundamental non-negotiable values. That is very, very important. So the idea of New India should stand firmly on scientific temper, democracy up to the lowest level, full implementation of federal principles, and secularism. Secularism often gets confused with non-believing. Individuals have a constitutional right to worship. They have a right to follow and propagate any religion they want. Nobody can touch that. So we cannot object to that. It is there. It is guaranteed. By secularism, we mean separating religion and politics. The government should not follow any religion. There should not be any religion to the government. There can be a religion to a particular individual, but not to the government. Recently, we saw a video clip which was really disturbing. In that video clip, we could see the Prime Minister doing a puja during Ganesh Chaturthi. He is doing it in the house of Chief Justice of India. Nobody else is present. Chief Justice, his wife, and the Prime Minister. Prime Minister is chanting slogan and ringing the puja bell, and he's doing the puja as a priest. If it is a private affair, that video need not have been taken. Even if the video is taken, that need not have been released to the public. Once it comes to the public, what kind of insecure feeling the religious minorities will get? Among these two, one is the custodian of justice. Another is Prime Minister is custodian of the will of the people. So in a country, both the custodian of the justice and the custodian of the will of the people together doing a Hindu religious puja, which is released to the press, then what will be its consequences? So this is where we need to talk about secularism. These are all very dangerous trends. Our New India should not be having any such scenario in the coming days. So our duty may overlap as citizens and as teachers. Whatever you want to do, that the task, the responsibility before you in shaping the New India, when you take up both the roles as citizens and as teachers, the duties may overlap, but the principle is the same: to create a New India which would create an atmosphere of democracy, equality, secularism, scientific temper, and unity. Plurality of India must be definitely safeguarded. No place for hate politics. There can be free speech, but in the name of free speech, we cannot have hate speech. There is a difference between free speech and hate speech. So the New India should clearly stay away from all this hate speech, etc. The plurality has to be kept in mind. So this must be our utmost duty. This is how we shape the future of India. So whenever we are down and out, or we feel low, we feel that we are not able to discharge our duties properly, like it's a challenge which is very difficult to face or counter. when you feel very low about that, you think of the great social reformers, whether it is Sri Narayana Guru or Iyengar or other social reformers in Kerala. Similarly, Savitri Bai Phule, who was the first woman teacher, what kind of difficulties she faced in running a school and teaching the girls, how much challenges she would have encountered, how much restrictions she would have faced. She faced all that only because she stood firmly, only because she countered the challenges, faced the challenges. Now women have studied, women have become teachers like you, women have become officials in various spheres. That all became possible only because of social reformers or people like Savitri Bai Phule and governments like LDF government, which is trying to implement the teachings of the great social reformers. Such governments are playing a very, very important role in taking the society forward, progress. That is more important. So we have to think of social reformers and governments like LDF government. We should very clearly give our support to such governments who's trying to take the society forward. The government which is trying to implement the gender equality, the government which is trying to take away the discrimination to any group as far as possible. So we should extend our support. Similarly, organization like All India Democratic Women's Organization, it's a huge organization having more than 1 crore membership. It's present in all the societies. In Kerala, Janadipatya Mahila Association is a very great organization. Whichever section of women face a problem, immediately Aidwa comes to the field in defense of their interest. So you should extend more support to such organization. You should not feel your duty starts and ends with the teachers association. It's not like that. As women, you have a role to play in the Janadipatya Mahila Association also. So in the coming period, I'm looking forward to more of your support to the LDF government as well as to organizations like All India Democratic Women's Organization. I convey my warm regards once again. And this Vanita subcommittee should do more. You should achieve more. You should be a role model to all the women in your state. With these wishes, I inaugurate your meeting. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for delivering an inspiring speech. Of course, it was an inspiring one, covering all the possible sides of or what teachers can do, overlapping the roles. And of course, it is a great opportunity for us to interact with Comrade Vasuki and to hear you. And here, yeah, it is the perfect start for us for our activities to commence. Like we are, our women's subcommittee is working in a four level system. In the state level, we are doing some activities like student issues based on student issues, like women students issues and teachers issues in Kerala, in various parts of Kerala. And we are conducting a lot of speeches, inspiring speeches like this. And in Mekhala level, it is also working. And in district level and unit levels also, we are having the activities. So women activities is all there among the different units of Akgct, Association of Kerala Government College Teachers. So this is a perfect start with your inspiring speech. We are taking the fire to get the fair share. I would like to say it again. We don't want the reservation, we want the fair share in the plurality of India. And of course, we ensure, we promise that our roles will be overlapping definitely. As even this is the last day of our Onam holidays, and even if it is Sunday, a lot of teachers are there in the G Meet and the YouTube. and male teachers as well supporting as well. They are also taking part in the all the activities of Women's Subcommittee, and our platform is very that is very good platform to for the women to work with. Of course, there are ICCs in the all the units and in the colleges, so we are looking that as well. Our teachers are looking that part as well, whether ICC is working or not there in the each unit or each college for the women and for the women students as well. So we are ensuring this is a good start for us in the state level. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And I would be very happy to extend my salutes to all the different fraternity people join here from Aidwa, KSTA, NGO, PUCASA, and lot of people, comrades are there from the public. As Ma'am Vasuki is speaking here, lot of people have joined from outside as well, even outside our platform. So I would like to extend my salutes to one and all. And here we are having Dr. Seema Jain from Rajasthan. She is the State General Secretary of Rajasthan State in the Aidwa and Central Committee member. I would like her to invite to deliver two words of felicitation. Ma'am Seema Jain.
Yes, namaste to all. Firstly, I want to thanks to Akgct Women Subcommittee for organizing this important issue, that role of women teachers in shaping the future of India. And our senior leader, Comrade Vasuki, clearly targeted every issue of this subject. So I want to say definitely women are shaping human, family, society, education and politics and economics, and everything are shaping by women's. This struggle for shaping future of India started by our first women teacher Savitri Bai Phule before freedom 100 years. Then she was alonely started their struggle. Comrade Vasuki tell in detail. That time she is alonely struggle against the women for favor women education inequality. But now we are 70% of women teacher in India. That time we are 70% women teacher in education system. Then now this is our moral duty for we are fight we should fight against inequality, against women violence, and against every manuvadi attacks. So I want to say in shortly, congratulations to Akgct. Time to time they are organize various lectures. I was in part before one lecture, and thank you all of you. Keep it up.
Thank you, Dr. Seema Jain. She was there with us in the last year as well for some other program. Okay, thank you, ma'am, for taking this pain to join with us. And PK Srimati teacher also from Kerala agreed to join us. I hope she'll be there in the YouTube, watching in the YouTube. So salutes to her as well. And as this is an online platform, I'm not extending much. We are having our supporting president of AKGCT, Dr. N. Manoj. I would like to invite Manoj sir to extend few words of felicitation.
Okay.
Can I leave, please?
Okay, comrade.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for coming
Okay,
over here. Thank you. I'll be contacting you. Thank you.
My dear friends, inauguration of Akgct Women's Subcommittee activities is done by Comrade U. Vasuki. And Comrade mentioned in her speech that last 10 years in Central, Modi government is leading undemocratic and unconstitutional activities. And we have to fight against such undemocratic activities. And also, Comrade mentioned the need of giving support in Kerala to the LDF government and the need of take part in Janadipatya Mahila Association also. We all knows that in all situation, all time, women and children were the victims of all type of exploitation. As time passes, the way of exploitation and tools changes. We teachers working in higher education, it is our duty to make aware the common people about the exploitation, and we have to lead the protest against such exploitation. I hope our women's subcommittee will plan and lead such activities in this academic year in this platform, and also express my sincere thanks and all success to AKGCT Women's Subcommittee. Thank you all.
Thank you, Manu, sir, for your kind words and all the support paid by you for the conduction of this program. Here, there is Dr. Muhammad Rafiq T, sir, that our General Secretary is with us. I would like to invite him to deliver a few words of felicitations.
യോഗാധ്യക്ഷൻ സുനിത ടീച്ചർ, അതുപോലെ നമ്മുടെ യോഗം ഔപചാരികമായി ഉദ്ഘാടനം ചെയ്ത കോമ്രേഡ് വാസുകി, ഐഡ്വയുടെ വൈസ് പ്രസിഡന്റ്, യോഗത്തിന് സ്വാഗതം പറഞ്ഞ നമ്മുടെ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ട്രഷറർ ഗീത ടീച്ചർ, പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട AKGCT കുടുംബാംഗങ്ങൾ, 2024-25 വർഷത്തെ സംഘടനയുടെ വനിതാ സബ് കമ്മിറ്റിയുടെ പ്രവർത്തനോദ്ഘാടനമാണ് ഏതാനും നിമിഷങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പ് ഇവിടെ നടന്നത്. അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ഒരു വളരെ കാലിക പ്രസക്തമായ ഒരു വിഷയത്തെ അടിസ്ഥാനമാക്കി റോൾ ഓഫ് വുമൺ ടീച്ചർ ഇൻ ഷേപ്പിംഗ് ഫ്യൂച്ചർ ഓഫ് ഇന്ത്യ എന്ന വിഷയത്തെ ആസ്പദമാക്കി കോമ്രേഡ് വാസുകി സംസാരിക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. അടുത്തൊരു വർഷം വനിതാ സബ് കമ്മിറ്റി നടപ്പിലാക്കേണ്ട അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വനിതാ സബ് കമ്മിറ്റിയുടെ വിവിധ പ്രോഗ്രാമുകൾ ഏത് തലത്തിലായിരിക്കണം എന്നുള്ളത് സൂചന നൽകിക്കൊണ്ടുള്ള നല്ല വിശദമായ ഒരു വിഷയാവതരണം ഇവിടെ നടക്കുകയുണ്ടായി. തുടർന്ന് നടക്കുന്ന സംസ്ഥാന പ്രവർത്തക സമിതി അതിൻ്റെ അടുത്ത ഒരു വർഷത്തെ പ്രോഗ്രാം വിശദമായി ചർച്ച ചെയ്യുകയും തുടർ നടപടികൾ സ്വീകരിക്കാൻ ആവശ്യമായ നടപടികൾ സ്വീകരിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യും. ഈ യോഗത്തിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ യോഗത്തിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കുന്ന മുഴുവൻ ആളുകൾക്കും സംസ്ഥാന പ്രവർത്തക സമിതിയുടെ പേരിലുള്ള അഭിവാദ്യങ്ങൾ അർപ്പിക്കുന്നു, ആശംസകൾ അർപ്പിക്കുന്നു. വനിതാ സബ് കമ്മിറ്റിയുടെ അടുത്ത ഒരു വർഷത്തെ പ്രോഗ്രാം എല്ലാവിധ ആശംസകളും അർപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നിർത്തുന്നു. അഭിവാദ്യങ്ങൾ.
നന്ദി റഫീഖ് സർ, ഈ പരിപാടിക്ക് എല്ലാവിധ പിന്തുണയും തന്നതിന്. ഇനി ഒരു വർഷത്തെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾക്കുള്ള പൂർണ്ണമായ പിന്തുണ. നമ്മുടെ ഇനോഗ്രേഷൻ മാത്രമാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇതുപോലെ വാസുകി മാഡം തമിഴ്നാടിൽ നിന്ന് ആയതുകൊണ്ടും വയനാടിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേക സാഹചര്യത്തിലുമാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഇനോഗ്രേഷൻ നമ്മൾ ഓൺലൈൻ ആക്കി നടത്തുന്നത്. തീർച്ചയായും അടുത്ത പരിപാടികൾ, ക്യാമ്പ്, മാഗസിൻ തുടങ്ങിയ പരിപാടികളുണ്ട്. പല തലത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് നടത്തേണ്ട കാര്യങ്ങളെ കുറിച്ച് നമ്മുടെ റോളുകൾ ഓവർലാപ്പ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നമുക്ക് പല പരിപാടികളും ചെയ്യേണ്ടതുണ്ട് എന്ന് വാസുകി മാഡം നമ്മളെ ഓർമ്മിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. തീർച്ചയായും നമുക്ക് ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഇത്തവണ ചെയ്യാനുണ്ട്. എല്ലാ വർഷവും നമ്മൾ നിരവധി പരിപാടികൾ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് പോകുന്നുണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഈ വർഷവും നിരവധി പരിപാടികൾ ചെയ്യാനുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവരുടെയും പിന്തുണയ്ക്ക് നന്ദി. ഈ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ തന്നെ പുറമേ നിന്നുള്ള അംഗങ്ങളും ഉണ്ട്. നമ്മുടെ ടീച്ചിങ് പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം അല്ലാതെ തന്നെ പുറമേ നിന്നുള്ള പബ്ലിക്കിൽ നിന്നുള്ള അംഗങ്ങളും നമുക്ക് സപ്പോർട്ട് നൽകിക്കൊണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ മീറ്റിങ്ങിലുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവിധ സന്തോഷവും. അടുത്തതായി നന്ദി, ഈ ചടങ്ങിന് നന്ദി അർപ്പിക്കാനായി കണ്ണൂർ മേഖല കൺവീനറായിട്ടുള്ള ശുഭ കെ ക്ഷണിക്കുകയാണ്.
Thank you, ma'am. Happy noon to all. I'm very happy to be the part of this program, and I got such an opportunity to express the sincere thanks to all those who gathered here. First of all, I would like to thank our respected invited guest, Vasuki ma'am. Such an inspiring talk within this limited time. She delivered a lot of things to us, such a rich, thoughtful and inspiring talk. And really, ma'am, it is motivated for us to act for the society, to the people, to the students, and for the country as a whole by acting we like a change agent. Ma'am, very thankful to you, ma'am. Next, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to Dr. Sunita ma'am, convener AKGCT Vanita Subcommittee. It's a formality for us, even though I am expressing our sincere gratitude to Sunita ma'am. Next, Dr. M.K. Geeta Nambia, State Treasurer, AKGCT, who have done welcome address in this event. Ma'am, we are very thankful to you. Next, I would like, here we have AKGCT State President, Dr. N. Manoj, General Secretary, Dr. Mohammad Rafiq, and other State Working Committee officials, members, and now I am expressing all the sincere gratitude to all those who have gathered here for making this program a wonderful one. Then I expressing our sincere thanks to all office bearers of AKGCT from various districts, district conveners, unit conveners, and also Dr. Seema Jain ma'am from Rajasthan and Srimati teacher and all other dignitaries who have joined in Gmeet and also in YouTube streaming. Next, we have various university, senate and syndicate members, and I am very happy to express our sincere gratitude to you, sir, for making this program a wonderful one. I expressing our lovely gratitude to technical committee members like Dr. Pradesh sir, Shaji sir. Thank you, sirs. Last but not least, it's my privilege to express all the sincere thanks and gratitude to all members of AKGCT who have gathered here, attended here, and actively participated in this program, and all teaching and non-teaching faculties and members engaged here for making this program a wonderful one. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Shubha. Manoj sir?
Okay.
മനോജ് മാഷെ, നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ യോഗം അവസാനിപ്പിക്കുന്നതാണ്. എല്ലാവർക്കും നന്ദി. യോഗം അവസാനിച്ചു.